Hello and welcome to the 10th week of Season 21, Season of the Deep, starting on July 25th, 2023. So for week 10, let's kick things off with our Legacy rotation, starting with the Forsaken expansion.
Ready if you are. Let's see what's out there.
The Dreaming City this week is at a strong curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in Rio Silvia, and has the Dark Monastery mission for the next week. The Blind Well features Taken Enemies and the Plague Inam Mina. The Ascendant challenge this week will be the Keep of Owned Edges, which can be located over in the Harbinger Seclude on the Dreaming City. Next up, the Shadowkeep expansion. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is in the Deep. The Trove Guardian is located in the Hellmouth, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Fallen Council in Archer's Line. And the Nightmare Hunt this week will be Zydron, Servitude, Tanix, Isolation, and Skolus, Pride. For our Beyond Light expansion, on Europa this week, Praxis the Technocrat will be the Empire Hunt, Cadmus Ridge will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Safeguard. For the 30th anniversary expansion, we have the loot rotation for Dares of Eternity, which will be on week 2's rotation, with the Scatterhorn armor set and the Perfector's armor set being available. The weapons available this week will be the Kinetic Adaptive Frame Auto Rifle Scathelock, the Kinetic Aggressive Frame Submachine Gun Extraordinary Rendition, the Void Aggressive Burst Sidearm Brass Attacks, the Void Precision Frame Linear Fusion Rifle Threaded Needle, the Solar High Impact Frame Rocket Launcher Code Dwello, the Void Lightweight Frame Bow Imperial Needle, the Solar Adaptive Frame Sniper Rifle Far Future, the Arc Adaptive Frame Sword Honor's Edge, the Solar Rapid Fire Frame Sniper Rifle Distant Terminus, the Arc Adaptive Frame Grenade Launcher Interference 6, the Kinetic Adaptive Frame Sniper Rifle Shepherd's Watch, and the Solar Adaptive Frame Hand Cannon Annual Skate. For the Witch Queen expansion, the Witch Queen weekly story mission is the Communion, where the modifier is Empath, as well as Barrier and Unstoppable champions. Also this week you'll have Altar of Reflection Choice and Altar of Reflection Pact. The Wellspring activity has been updated to include a featured Throne World weapon, Veritas armor, and a weapon pattern as its rewards. For the Lightfall expansion, the weekly mission is Downfall, with extra shields, lock loadouts, and extra champions. Barrier and Unstoppable champions, Solar Threat, Scorched Earth modifier, Kinetic Overcharge, Void and Solar Surges, with an overcharged weapon, and Galvanized on hero difficulty only. The Partition mission will be Hard Reset, Contest mode enabled with Barrier and Unstoppable champions, Arc Threat, Scorched Earth, Pestilence and Martyr modifiers, Arc and Strand shields with Void and Strand surges. And the Vex incursion this week will be Liming Harbour. In addition, the weekly Lightfall reset also refreshes the Pinnacle drop for the Node Override Avalon Exotic mission on the EDZ. For the Season of the Deep, the featured fishing pond will be on the EDZ. Raids and Dungeons. The Root of Nightmares raid challenge this week is the second encounter, Cision, called Crossfire. No one can shoot the launch crystals on the side that they're currently standing on. The Kingsfall raid challenge this week is the fifth encounter, Oryx, called Hands Off. Players must not kill the same Ogre or Light Eater Knight throughout the encounter. The Vow the Disciple challenge this week is the third encounter, the Upender, called Defenses Down. This is where each player cannot kill more than one Taken Knight in total. The Deepstone Crypt challenge this week is the first encounter, Crypt Security, called Red Rover. This is where all Guardians must be an operator and shoot the two panels on the lower level. The Garden of Salvation challenge this week is the third encounter, Consecrated Mind, called Staying Alive, where you must not kill the spawning Cyclopses in the first two rooms. And the Last Wish challenge this week is the fifth encounter, Riven, called Strength of Memory, where Guardians must not shoot the same Riven Eye twice. Your Pinnacle raid will be the Vault of Glass over in the Legends tab, which means all of the challenges will be available for each encounter. These are the first encounter, Confluxes, called Wait For It, where every Yellow Bar Wyvern must be killed as they sacrifice themselves to the Confluxes. The second encounter, Oracles, called The Only Oracle For You. Players cannot destroy the same Oracle more than once. The third encounter, Templar, called Out of Its Way, where you must keep the Templar from teleporting. The fourth encounter, Gatekeeper, called Strangers in Time. Players must defeat the Praetorians and the Wyverns at the same time. And the fifth encounter, Atheon, called Ensembler's Refrain. Each player teleported can only destroy one Oracle in each spawn set. Also, with the Vault of Glass being the featured raid, this does mean that you can farm the final boss for a chance at the exotic fusion rifle Vex Mythoclast. And the Pinnacle dungeon will be the Shattered Throne over on the Dreaming City. Next up, challenges. Wicked Depth. Complete the Whetstone encounter in Deep Dives and earn the Wicked Implement Scout Rifle. 4. Challenge XP++. Neptune activities. In Neomuna, complete bounties, patrols, public events and lost sectors. 4. Challenge XP+, and Bright Dust. Spark of Arc. Defeat Guardians in Crucible matches with Arc subclass equipped. Bonus progress is granted for defeating blind opponents. 4. Challenge XP+, and Bright Dust. Special measures. Defeat 100 targets in Gambit with weapons using special ammo. Bonus progress is granted for defeating Guardians and landing final blows with glaives and hand cannons using special ammo. 4. Challenge XP+, and Bright Dust. And Tried and True. Defeat 300 combatants in Vanguard playlists or strikes with primary ammo. Bonus progress is granted for more challenging combatants. 4. Challenge XP++, and Bright Dust.
Hello!
As a reminder, your daily lost sector will show you a flag outside which will give you details of threats, shields, champions and exotic armour you will find inside. But if you are new to the game or using an alternate character and can't find the flag outside, you will have to run through the lost sector normally to have it show up on your map as a legend/master, which you can either do solo or with a fire team, but you will only be able to earn the chance at the exotic drop when completing solo. Tuesday, July 25th will be the Bale Drowned Wishes on the Dreaming City for exotic gauntlets, Arc Threat, Void and Arc Surges, Void Shields, Stalker Shield Modifier, Overcharged Snipers, with Overload and Unstoppable Champions. Wednesday, July 26th will be the Veil's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrome for exotic chests, Arc Threat, Void and Arc Surges, Arc and Solar Shields, Fire Pit Modifier, with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions. Thursday, July 27th will be Exodus Garden 2A on the Cosmodrome for exotic helmets, Void Threat, Arc and Void Surges, Void Shields, Scorched Earth Modifier, with Barrier and Overload Champions. Friday, July 28th will be the K1 Revelations on the Moon for exotic boots, Void Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Arc Shields, Fire Pit Modifier, Overcharged Machine Guns, with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions. Saturday, July 29th will be the K1 Crew Quarters on the Moon for exotic gauntlets, Arc Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Solar Shields, Hot Knife Modifier, Overcharged Glaives, with Barrier and Overload Champions. Sunday, July 30th will be the K1 Logistics on the Moon for exotic chests, Void Threat, Arc and Void Surges, Arc and Solar Shields, Hot Knife and Chafe Modifiers, Overcharged Snipers, with Barrier and Overload Champions. And finally, background to Monday, July 31st will be the K1 Communion on the Moon for exotic helmets, Solar Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Solar and Void Shields, Arachno Modifier, Overcharged Linear Fusion Rifle, with Barrier and Overload Champions.
Lead the way.
Our 10th featured Nightfall will see us face off against Alakul in the Lightblade over on the Throne World, where you have a chance to get a Pinnacle engram if you complete the Nightfall with a score of 200k or more. This Nightfall will require you to own the Witch Queen expansion. You will be able to earn high-end gear for your characters, including the Nightfall featured weapon, exotic gear, enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, ascendant shards, and adept Nightfall ciphers. The harder Nightfall difficulty, the more common the drop will be, with the featured weapon and exotic gear being uncommon at hero difficulty to being common with ascendant shards in Grand Masters. Legend and lower Nightfalls will have 8 barrier, 2 unstoppable, and 7 lucent champions, with 6 solar and 12 arc shields. Masters and GMs will have 12 barrier, 3 unstoppable, and 7 lucent champions, with 6 solar and 8 arc shields. Your Nightfall modifiers are hero difficulty, maximum effective level 1765, matchmaking is available, enemies have extra shields, champions foe, you will face barrier, unstoppable, and lucent champions. You can either use intrinsic exotics, use a subclass debuff, or unlock anti-champion mods from the seasonal artifact. Arc Threat, 25% increase to incoming arc damage. Empath, enhanced radar, take increased damage from melee. Overcharged weapons. Weapons overcharged from the seasonal artifact are active in this activity. Kinetic weapons do increased damage when your subclass element matches an active surge. Arc Surge, 25% bonus to outgoing arc damage. An Elemental Surge, 25% bonus to an outgoing element's damage. Overcharged weapon, 25% bonus damage to a specific weapon type. Galvanized, combatants have more health and are more difficult to stun. Legend difficulty, maximum effective level 1815, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. No matchmaking. Equipment locked, you will be unable to change your equipment once the mission starts. Master difficulty, maximum effective level 1820, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. Champions mob, this difficulty adds more champion enemies. Chafe, Radar is disabled. Grandmaster difficulty, maximum effective level 18-15, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. Join in progress is disabled. Extinguish, if your fighting falls in a restricted zone, your team is returned to orbit. Limited revives, gain additional revives by defeating champions up to a maximum of 20. And Contest mode, which caps your power level to make enemies more of a challenge. To combat champions this season, you have access to subclass counters as well as a choice of intrinsic anti-champion artifact mods, which are Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle, Unstoppable Hand Cannon, and Unstoppable Glaive. You also have exotic weapons and armor that can help with intrinsic mods as well. For Anti-Barrier, the Kinetic Bow Wishender, the Kinetic Linear Fusion Rifle Arbalest, the Kinetic Pulse Rifle Revision 0, the Solar Energy Hand Cannon Eriana's Vow, the Solar Heavy Sword the Lament, and the Titan Gauntlet's Second Chance, which gain a second charge of a shield throw melee, which becomes shield piercing and stuns barrier champions. And for Unstoppable, the Kinetic Fusion Rifle Bastion, the Kinetic Hand Cannon Malfeasance, the Solar Energy Sidearm Devil's Ruin, the Void Heavy Bow Leviathan's Breath, and the Hunter Gauntlet's Atheris's Embrace, which have a chance to stun unstoppable champions with their empowered weighted knife. The Nightfall featured weapon to obtain this week would be the Arc Adaptive Frame Grenade Launcher Wendigo GL3. The Wendigo GL3 has a base blast radius of 50, velocity of 29 and handling of 41. It can roll with Full Court, Explosive Light and Frenzy, with Clown Cartridge, Chain Reaction and Auto-Loading Holster. It has the origin trait of Stunning Recovery, where if you stun a champion you partially refill the magazine, trigger health regen and improve your recovery for a short duration. Vanguard Vindication, where final blows with the weapon grant a small amount of health. And Omolon Fluid Dynamics, where the weapon has increased reload speed and stability for the top half of the magazine. Lord Shaxx brings Momentum Control to the Crucible for the 10th week of the season. Momentum Control is a 6v6 PvP mode which is a variation of the regular control mode, where every weapon is significantly higher in lethality, meaning that you can take out your opponents much faster than normal. Respawns are instant, and defeating enemy players in Momentum Control will grant faster regeneration on your melee, grenade and super. Players get increased damage resistance when they activate a super, to help counteract that little bit of extra damage that the guns give out. The mode also has increased capture speeds on points and radar is removed for every player. Achieve victory by capturing zones and defeating opponents. And Zone Control will be returning this week in the Relentless Crucible playlist. Zone Control is a 6v6 game mode which emphasises team-based gameplay in capturing zones and not kills. Zone Control forces players to collaborate more actively in capturing and defending zones. Capturing zones dramatically takes longer if one player tries to do it themselves, with it taking 22.5 seconds to capture the point, whereas two can capture within 10 seconds. 3 or more players will capture a zone in 7.5 seconds. Beyond that, capturing a zone will net the team 1 point per capture, and holding onto the point will reward 2 points every 15 seconds per zone, making it essential to lock down areas rather than float between them carelessly. The first team to 125 points wins.
Delightful!
Plus, Trials of Osiris Dominion will be back once again at the weekend with some new rewards for players who do make it to the lighthouse and open the chest. These include the Hero's Wake Exotic Ghost Shell, the Valiant Memory Exotic Ship, the Survivor's Journey Exotic Sparrow, and the new Trials shader, Glorious Patina. Trials of Osiris Dominion is a 3v3 PvP high-stakes game mode with a twist of a capture point. In Dominion, 2 teams of 3 go head-to-head in a battle for control of a capture point. Teams can either work together to capture the control point, or eliminate the enemy team to win the round. Only available from Friday Reset until Tuesday Weekly Reset, Trials gives every player the chance to show off their PvP skills to obtain some of Destiny's most sought-after weapons and armour. Players that compete in Trials of Osiris will have all of their games tracked through a passage card, a ticket purchased from Saint 14 in the lower hangar of the tower. Winning rounds and matches in Trials of Osiris will grant exclusive weapons, armour, Pinnacle gear, Masterwork materials and even Adept gear for the most skilled players who can reach the lighthouse with a flawless ticket of 7 games won and no losses. 5 round wins will bag you the match for your passage card. By competing in Trials, you do have a chance to pick up 2 Pinnacle engrams from playing each week, one from 50 round wins and the other from winning 7 games. These do not have to be done all in one go, but you do have to complete them before the weekly reset.
That is amazing.
And Destiny 2's summer event Solstice continues this week, so light those bonfires and grab your loot. Solstice will run until August 8th. Also, with us moving into the final few weeks of the season, here's your reminder to start collecting all of your Season of the Deep Pass items, any items left over from Season of Defiance Season Pass items from Bungie.net, plus your reward track items and engrams from Banshee 44, the Gunsmith, Shaxx, Crucible, Zavala, Vanguard, Drifter, Gambit, and Saint 14 Trials. Grab these before the end of the season as they will reset and you will lose all items when the new season starts. Don't forget you can also start hoarding those bounties to get a leg up on XP and artifact progression for next season. And that's it for the 10th week of Season of the Deep. Thank you for watching. Allons-y.
Guardian down.